Thank you for joining me on our weekend edition of Daily Dish. In today's episode, I will be bringing you the week's top stories in the world of technology, sports, politics, and entertainment. If the Democrats win the 2020 presidential election, who or what is going to be under greater scrutiny? Stick around to find out that answer on today's episode of Daily Dish.
There's no way in the world, if anything's meaningful and truthful, that you're not going to offend someone. You've got to be able to say what it is, say how it is, and take the consequence.
The Federal Trade Commission revealed the deal of its $5 billion settlement with Facebook this week, saying that it added new restrictions to the way that the tech giant handles user data in hopes that it will help to change Facebook's entire privacy culture. As you know, this is the largest penalty ever imposed on any company for violating consumers' privacy and almost 20 times greater than the largest privacy or data security penalty ever imposed worldwide. The agreement orders Facebook to restructure the way that it handles user privacy, including changes at the board level and in the way that the company will handle relationships with third-party developers. The settlement also establishes new guidelines for how the company will be held accountable for future privacy violations. Golden State Warriors coach Steve Kerr is saying that he's not happy with the events that transpired, which led to the expedited departure of Anthony Davis from the New Orleans Pelicans to the Los Angeles Lakers. Kerr indicated that it was, quote, bad for the league and said that the trend of players who are not free agents forcing trades to get out of existing contracts is a real problem. Davis had another season left on his deal with the Pelicans, and when he requested a trade to the Lakers this last year, he was sent in exchange for 3 players and 3 first-round draft picks in June. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has repeatedly said that he wishes trade demands were handled behind closed doors in order to avoid franchises being involved in the very public tug-of-wars over the team's and the players' best interests. With the 2020 election just a little over a year away, many are speculating as to what will happen if Donald Trump is reelected. But what we don't talk about is what will happen if there is a Democratic president and who that will affect the most. This past week, Facebook was forced to pay out a historically large fine, and if anyone should be concerned about a Democratic president, it's Facebook and others like it in Silicon Valley. There could be more investigations into these online industries, which could eventually face some pretty severe punishments. These have never been a concern for these companies, but that just might be the reality moving forward. In fact, it was announced on Tuesday that the Justice Department will be looking into anti-competitive behavior by some of the biggest online companies. It was also revealed that the FTC opened a separate antitrust investigation into Facebook last month. This is separate from the $5 billion privacy settlement that they just paid out, but more oversight is needed to prevent the abuse of consumer information by Facebook and other companies, but that has yet to be delivered. This year's Toronto International Film Festival will feature supervillain or origin stories, splashy literary adaptations, and even Tom Hanks as the most beloved performer in children's television. The Canadian celebration of all things movies unveiled its 2019 lineup this past week, and it appears to be an eclectic mixture of glossy awards bait, indie movies, and even populist crowd pleasers. The lineup includes movies like Joker, which is a gritty and very R-rated take on the famous Batman character, to Abominable, which is an animated adventure featuring a cute and adorable Yeti that is geared towards a younger audience. Also in the lineup is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which is a drama about Fred Rogers that features Tom Hanks as the entertainment icon. As a follow-up to a story that we brought you last week, A$AP Rocky has now officially been charged with assault over a fight that took place in Stockholm in June. The rapper is being charged after prosecutors came to the conclusion that the events in question constitute a crime, despite claims of self-defense and provocation. Last week, the case got the attention of other recording artists like Kanye West and even President Donald Trump himself, who called the Prime Minister of Sweden to see if they could work out a deal, to which the Prime Minister indicated that he would not intervene in the case and emphasized that in Sweden, everyone is equal under the law. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Daily Dish. I hope you got your fill of what's happening in the world, and I will have another weekend review edition of Daily Dish for you next weekend. And thanks for subscribing. Please feel free to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, or whatever other social media you can think about. The name is Saintel Daily, and please subscribe at youtube.com/Saintel Daily. That's SAINTEL DAILY. Saintel Daily. See you next time.